Good afternoon. Welcome to TC Palm on our Facebook and YouTube pages. This is Larry Reisman. I'm the community editor for the Press Journal, TC Palm, and I'm happen to be joined by Ryan Lloyd. I really appreciate him coming on today. He is the Emergency Services Coordinator for Indian River County, quite busy at the county's Emergency Operations Center as Tropical Storm, I think it's still a Tropical Storm, Nicole, is headed our way. And Ryan, what's the latest on the storm?
Well, I haven't had a chance to see the latest forecast, but earlier this morning, it looked like it was making a jog a little bit to the south and potentially making a landfall later tonight or in the early morning hours in the St. Lucie, Martin County area. Now, the one thing that concerns us about that is if that does in fact occur, that'll put Indian River County in the northeast quadrant of Tropical Storm Nicole or Hurricane Nicole, depending on what happens. And typically the northeast quadrant is the most damaging area for weather, and it tends to have the most severe weather. So we are concerned about potential tornado threats if that does in fact occur. As you recall, here just in the past month or so, we had a tornado incident in South Vero Beach one night with thunderstorms. So that's the latest right now. We remain at a level 1 activation, and we've got our partners in place, and we're ready to do whatever we need to do to get through this over the next 24 hours or so. I can't hear.
For some reason, I heard a little echo when you were talking. I don't know if you're hearing it on my end, but
I hear you good.
For some reason, I heard a little echo when you were talking. I don't know if you're hearing it on my end, but I hear you good. For some reason, I heard a little echo when you were. Okay, I think maybe I had something up that was causing that echo, so I appreciate fixing that. Anyway, so what really can we expect? What do you think some of the impacts might be tonight?
Well, a lot of it depends on how strong Nicole gets as it gets closer to our coast, but we expect a decline in the weather conditions throughout this evening, and then in the nighttime hours, we expect anywhere between 55 to 65 mile per hour sustained winds based on the last forecast. We could have gusts as high as 85 miles per hour. So we expect the landfall, the last forecast that we're seeing, somewhere to be late nighttime hours, early morning hours, and Thursday. So weather's going to decline, and we're going to be in this for, again, about 24 hours. And then tomorrow afternoon, early afternoon, hopefully, Nicole will make its way out of our area, and we can start evaluating what damages were done, if any, and we can start resuming normal operations, hopefully.
So what time do you think should people be, it's right now, as we're recording this, it's about a little after 4:30. Should people be in by dark? Should they be in by now? Or what do you think should be happening at this point?
Everyone has to use good judgment in these situations. Our recommendation right now is that people need to start looking at sheltering in place for the evening. We're getting close here to the evening hours, and with time change, it's going to be getting dark a little bit earlier. So as the storm does eventually come in, we expect that we're going to have down power lines and, potential localized flooding, debris that could potentially be in the road. So, obviously with the nighttime coming in, the darkness creates a more serious hazard for any sort of motorized traffic. So our message right now is that start looking to get sheltered in place.
What time do we expect, say, winds that might cause a little bit of a hazard on the bridge? So if there are people that want to leave, what time should they really get out of there by? I know it's obviously as soon as possible if they want to leave, but
yeah, I can't really provide a definitive time on that. It just really depends on how these conditions come in and how soon those sustained winds occur.
Okay, as we looked around the county today, there seemed to be a lot of damage along the beach from tidal impacts and erosion and things like that. Do we expect more of that as the storm continues to progress? Is that
other things? And I'm glad you asked that. In reality, we're actually seeing that right now. Our beaches took a real severe beating during the Ian event. Ian was a tropical storm pretty much when it came through our area, but I'm going to call it Hurricane Ian. And, that wasn't all that long ago. Every storm's different, but this particular storm has a very large wind field, and it's created a situation offshore of having really high waves. And that plunge of water is making its way towards the coast as the storm gets even closer. We have forecasted to receive approximately 3 to 5 feet of storm surge, and the actual waves on the beach could be 10 to 12 feet. So we're definitely concerned about our beach conditions. It's something that we're going to continue to monitor. We ask people right now, just for the safety of themselves, to please stay away from the beaches. I know that there's always a curiosity of onlookers, but even as these conditions continue to deteriorate, it's going to create a more curious situation for the beaches and people that can be there. We ask people to stay away from it.
Okay. And we talked a little bit earlier, but, as the night goes on, do you have any expectation? You have some expectation that people are going to lose power through down power lines and things like that. Do you have any more insight into that? How many people might lose power?
So with the Emergency Operations Center being activated at level 1, we have Florida Power and Light representation in our office here for the next 24 hours, at least. There was some power outages in Vero Beach earlier. There was around 2,900 folks or 2,900 locations that didn't have power, but most of that got restored. But obviously, as these higher winds start to come in, we're going to expect to see power outages, and how widespread it is, I'm not sure. There was a lot of projects with FP&L to put power lines underground, and hopefully for the projects or the part of those projects that got completed, hopefully that'll mitigate some of our power outages. But we definitely expect them, and as soon as they occur, we really encourage our citizens to report it to FP&L, and that way we have an idea just within the Emergency Operations Center what the numbers actually are.
Okay, so at this point, should people be obviously they should shelter in place? Should they be concerned? Like what level of what would you say about calming people who might be concerned at this point, or what do you think about that? Should people be concerned or what?
People should definitely be concerned, but let me say this: as of right now, Nicole is a tropical storm. We don't know what the impacts are going to be. We'll know probably this time tomorrow afternoon, I would hope. But bottom line is do your due diligence, take precautions. Don't do things that are silly. Use good common sense in your judgments. Don't run your generators inside your home. Make sure that they're at least 20 feet away. Do the simple things right now to make your own situation safe.
Okay. Any other advice before we log off for the evening?
No, the last thing I want to say is that I know, and we even feel it here, that we don't want to get hurricane fatigue. It's been a long season. This is the third storm that's really had an impact of sorts to our community. The first one, if you remember back, was Tropical Storm Alex, which it was rain and wind, and then we had the Hurricane Ian event, which was definitely not near as bad in Indian River County as compared to our neighbors to the west coast. But it's very rare for a storm to develop this late in the year, especially here in November. So we just want to encourage our people, hunker down for at least the next 24 hours and understand that, this storm will pass and hurricane season in 2022 will end. And as a community, we'll get through it.
I really appreciate your coming on tonight, Ryan. Ryan Lloyd, the Emergency Management Coordinator for Indian River County. I'm Larry Reisman with TC Palm, and hope everybody's safe out there tonight. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.